Hello. So it's been a little while, huh? Okay. Lots has been going on and I just have not had the time to turn this on and chat at all. Right now I am in a hotel in Jacksonville, Florida, because I am at a business summit thing, meeting, doo-wop, who's and what's this, shindig, hootenanny. And yeah, that's where I am. And there's just been a lot going on. So let's try and even before this trip, there was a lot going on. So I'm gonna try and and then today I wasn't able to do Untethered Fridays because I was at a business thing that I'm just telling you about. Anyway, the point is, so not there. There's not really a particular point. Right. Center. Okay. So, last week, yeah, like a week ago, tomorrow, there was a conversation in my house. So it was, it's been me and my housemate Amy and her husband, at the house, and we'd had two really horrible housemates, and we were able to get them out finally. One of them we had to have removed by the police, and the other, I don't know how we got him to leave, but we did. He was just horrible, and I won't go into it. But it was brutal, and we are very, very fortunate that we have had the extraordinary blessing of living in Massachusetts, and the fact that none of us really have the means to pay for rent, because of COVID and because of various other things. The city has given us money. Well, specifically me this time. I applied for the funds, and we were able to pay for rent and utilities using those funds. And then we knew of a sort of acquaintance who had to leave his situation, his living situation that he'd been in for like 10 years or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Because of what he said was an unsafe situation, and then needed a place to go where they felt he and his partner, his girlfriend, needed a place to go that was safe until they found someplace else. And so we said, well, if you're going to be a couple of weeks, we'll give you a place to stay for a few weeks until if you're in danger, come here. Just find a place. It'll be for free for however long, whatever, a few weeks it'll take, blah, 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 right? And then from there, he kind of just assumed that he'd be staying. He's like, oh, well, I'll apply for the next round of funding. And when someone says something that takes me off guard and like just kind of like throws me for a loop, I get confused. And I did not handle it the best way. I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like I just didn't, my brain was just not, it was bad. Not bad, but it wasn't good. So I wasn't like automatically like, what the hell are you talking about? I was just like, okay. And then we kind of lived like that for a bit. And I was just like, this isn't cool. Like we gave him a free place to stay, and he just kind of assumed that he'd stay where he was, like stay with us for free until they wanted to leave. And it was a mess. But anyway, I kind of stood up for myself, and I stood up for us. And I said last week, like, look, there's a lot of reasons, but basically we're asking to move out. One of them being like the amount, the information we've given to the government, like, allows us to collect this money is not accurate if you are living here. And, and there's always a billion different, like, I can't even tell you a billion different reasons for them to move out. And we gave them all to him. And the way we presented them was very kind. You know what I mean? Like, look, if you stay here, that means we're frauding the government. And not only does that go against our morals and our ethics, but it also could result in fines and jail time. So, and then he was like, yeah, so I was like, what? And, okay, you know what though? The point is, I made my point. He was looking and looking and looking for something to somehow to make me wrong. It was the weirdest thing. He was just looking, trying to find some place to catch me out, like to show me that I'm not as good a person as I'm purporting to be, and like that my ethics are like whatever. I'm just what I'm doing here right now. Okay, it's like even thinking about it, I'm getting angry. And I kind of want to yell at him in my head outside, you know what I mean? Like I want to just be, I'm right, blah, 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 blah. And of course I'm right. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like none of that matters. So what I've been trying to do, and I've been getting the first few days after it, especially, my mind just kept going over and over and like all the different things that, not that I want to say, but that I wish I had said. It's not like I want to say it now to him. It's just that I wish I had said more things. But, and then so my mind keeps going over the things that I should have said and like what it would have happened and how great it would have been. And then it's like, you know, that's not helping me. Here's the thing about that. It's not helping me. It's not when I go over to my head and I do it that way, it's not like my head all of a sudden believes it and I get the satisfaction that I feel like I would have gotten if I had said that. No matter how many times my head goes back over it, it's not helping. So what I found that I had to do was every time that would come up, you know, there's the whole relaxing release thing, right? Like, so take a deep breath and just kind of like let it out. And anywhere in my body that's tense, find it, release it, relax. And on top of that, it's a little tough because, you know, you do have this like desire in your head to like, for some reason you think in your head, or you feel like if you went in your head and you had this conversation that you wish you'd had like 80 billion times and you somehow get it exactly right the way you would have wanted to say it. If I get it that way, like all of a sudden I'll be what? I'll feel better. It doesn't work that way. So, but it was really hard not to think that way. And that's the thing. It's like, you gotta, I didn't try and fix the way that I was thinking. I didn't try and change the way that I was thinking. That's just how I was thinking. But what I made the effort to do was to not focus on that, and to focus on the idea. Well, just focus on all right, so there's the desire to do something about it, right? So that's what kept on coming back to me, like the desire to do something about the situation, the desire to like say something more, like get myself in there and really just do something, say something satisfying, somehow make the outside world form what I want, what it is in my head that would make it okay on my inside. If the outside looked like this is what I had to decide, what it had to be out here to make myself feel better in here, and I had to like make it like that in my head, and it still didn't feel good, and like I kept on going on, and you know what? That's just not how it works. You know, if that's what I decided to work with, and I'm glad that I did, was the desire to do something about it. So I can feel that way. I can feel angry. I can feel frustrated. I can feel upset. I can, you know, have all these things going on in my head. And, you know, you tense up and you're like, oh, I don't want it. But like, that's the part that you have to work with, right? That's the part where it's like, okay, actually let my brain think whatever it's going to think. Let my feelings feel whatever they're going to feel. Take a deep breath, and I'm going to pay attention to something else. And I've been working on that. And it's been good. It's been tough though. It's been I shouldn't say it's been difficult, because if I do that, it's a negative affirmation, but it was a challenge, and it still is, like every time I think about it, but it's less and less so. Like before, it was like it sucked me in. It was like, it was impossible. I could not focus on anything. It was really weird. Like I was so into it. And I would I would say to myself, oh, just this once, you know, I'll kind of get it in once it's in my head, and I get it in my head, and it'll be over when I get it perfect in my head. This one more time, I will just daydream about what I could have said just this one more time. And then like, I didn't end up, like, I like, like a lot of stuff happened. Like I wasn't able to focus. I just couldn't think. I couldn't focus. It's just, there was a lot. And like, like even coming to, coming here to Florida, when I went to the, when I got on the train to get to the plane, the train to the plane, like I got off like 3 times at the wrong place because I was just so in my head about this. Okay, we're back and we're back. All right. So, luckily I had this whole conference thing to focus on. It's a conference, I don't know what it is, a summit. It's a heroes, it's the coaching summit, real estate influencer, real estate influencer coaching summit thing. Anyway, I came down here and I've had a lot of other things to think about, so I haven't had as much time to think about what happened to the house. And all I know is I'm really glad that they are looking for a place. So there's that. And now here's this thing where I am, like, it was like less than a week ago, or maybe a week ago, that my business partner slash mentor, Walter said to me, like, hey, you know, I was giving these 2 tickets to go to this conference. And it's, you know, basically full of people who would be our ideal client. These are people who we can really, really serve and help. And then, you know, these are people who help people. So helping those people makes it so that I'm helping more people. And that makes me pretty happy. So we came down here, man, we came down here and we attended this conference. And we've been on here. He just left, but we've been here since Wednesday night. Today's Friday. And that's been, yeah, that's been another thing that's just been, it's been really good. It's very, very distracting. So it's been a good thing. But it's an interesting experience, I will have to say. You know what? I would have thought that I'd be much more nervous about it than I am or was. The thing I think I was most nervous about was coming down here and like Walter and I shared a room, and I'm like, he's my business partner and my mentor. Do I really want him hearing me snore and talk in my sleep? Like, is that really what I want? But like, you know, because there were all these like embarrassing things that we all do, right? That we're like, okay, this person's gonna see this, and there's nothing I can do about it. But it turned out to be a lot better than I thought. You know what I mean? That I was worried about. It's no big deal. He's a cool guy. It's not like he's like, you know, whatever. But we came to this thing, and I thought I was going to be more nervous about networking and being in this conference and stuff like that. And you know, the first couple of hours I was a little uncomfortable, but it was fine. And it's an interesting thing, as always with this whole real estate entrepreneurship wealth building thing. I find it sometimes difficult to connect because, and maybe I talk about this too much, but you know, I grew up in a very artistic environment. Not as far as my family is concerned, but all my friends and all my activities had to do with the arts, and never did we ever talk about things like real estate and stock markets and money. It was always more about art and film and theater and performance and, you know, symbolism and mythology and just, you know, all these philosophy. And so just coming to events like this where people are talking about stuff that, I mean, yeah, I know a little bit about this stuff now, but it's still like, I just don't have much to say about it. You know what I mean? It's just, that's nice. I keep on using the example of cap rates because it's been explained to me 50 times, and I still my eyes glaze over, and then people are like, oh, and I'm like, cap rate, I don't know. But it's just a different type of thing to talk about, and it's still not something that rolls off my tongue. So it was interesting being in a conference of people who have that sort of think that way. and sort of just be like, they're like, oh, so what do you do in real estate? Oh yeah, I write books. I ghostwrite books. I can write a book for you. They're like, do you know about real estate? I'm like, yeah, I know enough about real estate. Hey, Darina, how are you? Yeah, so the conference has been very, very good. I think very productive. We've met a lot of really good people, a lot of really interesting people. There's some people who need books. It was funny. The very first talk at the conference was this gentleman named Bob Allen, and he's written a book. He's a best-selling author, like a New York Times bestseller. And he was telling everybody how much they needed a book. And Walter and I were in separate, like across the room, and we kind of looked at each other. We're like, like he just basically sold our product for us first, out of the gate. But it's interesting because I'm very used to, yeah, Bob Allen, and I am live, Darina. It is. It's awesome. Yeah, we were talking to Bob Allen, and Bob Allen was like telling everybody how they needed to write a book and what a good tool it is, and that came up a bunch of times in the different talks that were there, and so we knew we had the right room, and we had there were some interesting people to talk to, which I was really happy about. But I find it interesting because, I used to throw networking events for local independent filmmakers in Boston, and that I was, very, very comfortable that environment. I was very comfortable in that environment, and I've been trying to in my head take that person who used to be super comfortable and really just move very easily within that crowd, and very easily brought people together, found out over here who's doing, who are you, what do you do, who are you, what do you do, what do you need, oh, you're a producer who needs a sound guy, and you're a sound guy looking for a job. Well, then come on over here, sound guy, and come over here, producer, and the two of you can talk, and maybe you can work something out. And the networking parties I used to have, people would always, find other people to work with there, and I'm just trying to bring that memory of how I was in that situation to this situation, and it doesn't exactly translate, but I was able to find something in that and bring it in, sort of that, bringing more of that confidence that I used to have, or that I have again now, that I thought I didn't have, but I actually do. But I was able to kind of look back at that example of myself in the past doing what I wish that, I was hoping that I could do right now, and sort of bringing that into the present and into my body as much as possible. It's not the same thing. It's not because in that crowd, I can kind of we talk about, editing, or how you light something to make it look like something else, or different camera angles, or whatever the case may be. It's a different industry, right? It's a different industry that I'm very familiar with, very comfortable with, that I've been in for my whole life, and this isn't really like that. So I don't speak as easily about it as I did, but I'm learning to be more comfortable with that, and allowing for there to be quiet, it being okay with there being a lull in conversation. That's one that I'm working on. Anyway, that's about it, really. I'm just trying Russian accent in the writing. Russian accent in the writing. I would have to write in Russian letters, right, Darina? Russian letters are different. They're backwards N's and backwards R's. But spasiba, Darina. Nostrovia. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel bad for not having come on live for a while. There's been a lot going on that I really wish that I had turned the camera on for while it was happening. And I am going to work on doing that more, because I think it'd be I just skip the prepositions. You're right. Okay, I will try do that. try and do that. No, try that. And is a conjunction, so that's not a preposition. I'll work on it, Doreen, and I'll get back to you. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think I found more confidence than I thought I would have, which is a positive thing. And I don't know. There was a lot more I wanted to say, but now I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I was literally sitting there watching, listening to the speakers, and every time I would blink, literally I'd start falling asleep. Every time my eyes closed to blink, I would start falling asleep. That's how tired I am. I'm like, okay, I just got that, Dorina. That's how tired I am. Yeah, I'll write you a book, Dorina, and I'll write it in your Russian accent by dropping all the prepositions. How's that? Ah, that's nice. I am a killer networker. I'm really good at it. That's my positive affirmation. Isn't it wonderful how good a networker I am? That's another positive affirmation there. Anyway, this is getting kind of. I'm not really saying anything of much use right now, but yeah, it's been ups and downs for the past week, and it's trending up, so that's a good thing. And now I'm just gonna relax, and I got to do some work and get do some follow up. Dorina, Queen of Follow Up. I'm gonna do some follow up, and then right, isn't it wonderful? Exactly. Walter shared that one with me. Dorina, isn't it wonderful that the company is making $20 million a year, and isn't it wonderful that I'm back at acting and doing all the things that I wanted to do. Anyway, isn't it wonderful? It's a great affirmation, and I think everybody out there should use it. So think about what you want to actually have, what you're working for, what you actually want to be the case, and you say, isn't it wonderful that, I've lost 40 pounds. Isn't it wonderful that I've lost 40 pounds? I lost 40 pounds. Isn't it wonderful that I lost 40 pounds? Just keep saying that and be grateful as though it has already happened, and it will happen sooner. Anyway, that is really... Oh, Dorina, yes, Dorina, come on in. Approve. Here she comes. Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Let me turn you up a little here. Whoop.
Hey, I was having dinner and watching Star Trek, and then I saw you going live. I'm like, what in the world? You're going live. You should be completely exhausted from all this networking from Heroes event, 6 a.m. to midnight, 3 days in a row. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay on for a little bit, and then it kind of got into the rabbit hole.
That's how it is on Facebook, though.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good. I've done some projects today, and I accomplished all of the things that I wanted to do. And now I'm just relaxing and watching Star Trek.
Star Trek is awesome.
Well, Gwalder is the reason for it, because he kind of got me addicted to.
Which Star Trek is it? The original or the?
No. It's more modern. It's Enterprise, which they filmed sometimes in 2005.
Oh, right. So it's the prequel.
Yeah, it's when they just left the orbit, and the reason I love it is because it's very real, right? These aliens made the first contact with Earth in 2063, so I might be alive. I'm so excited. So that's why I'm kind of watching that. But my day is done. I've done 2 hours of meditation class today.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was good. When I went to the Art of Living retreat.
Oh, that's nice.
They kind of offer a continuation, and so we did that. Yeah. So Jennifer, what's before I let you go, and we have 5 people watching. I don't know who you are, but hello, good to see you. I want to ask you, what's your biggest takeaway from Jacksonville slash Amelia Island, Florida networking event with top coaches, top selling business entrepreneur coaches that shared the stage. You were there, you shake hands and shook. See, Russian coming up. Shook hands and smiled and exchanged some contact information. What was your biggest takeaway? Because it was one of a
My
kind.
biggest takeaway? Okay. Darina, I'm tired. My biggest takeaway is go to sleep. No, my biggest takeaway was probably um, that you can sit down and talk to anybody and find them interesting if you just sit down and talk about what they're interested in.
Okay, so no, that means like it could mean two things. Number one is that everyone there was a player, right? It's number one. Number
Yes.
is that if you just sit down, get quiet, and listen, everybody has something to share. And that
Yes.
could be like from any person on the planet. There's
That's
always
true.
something that someone could share as long as they're given a chance. So that's interesting.
Yes. And I mean, I guess I knew this too, but like when you sit down and you ask people to talk about themselves, it's nice to watch people talk about themselves because they get excited, and it's nice to see people get excited about the things they're passionate about, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And if you're clever enough, you'll give them more of that, and they'll be your best friend.
Exactly. Well, our whole business model, right, is about listening to people tell their stories and talk about themselves. So, it's a little preview of upcoming attractions. But we got a lot of people are very interested in making books, so that's really good.
Good. So I know you sent me some information about any of those guys who wanna have anything to do with the book writing, like the business cards that you shared.
Oh yeah, no, all the business cards they're all potential book writers.
Right. So what I'm going to do, we're gonna follow up with Felly, our assistant. I'm gonna copy you on those. Hey, I'm gonna invite them to Alchemist Nation, and and then see how their response is gonna be like.
Cool. I've got a bunch of one of the cool things about do I have it here? Our like name badges and stuff had QR codes with our information on them. So most of the people whose contact information I got from that. So I'm gonna go through my contacts and then I'll send those to you too. If you want to invite
Okay,
them to
okay,
Alchemist Nation.
cool. Yeah, no, that's good. Let's get them all together and see what they want. So yeah. Uh,
Nice.
well, good job. I'm glad you were able to make it. And
Thank you, me too. And I'm glad you had a couple of nights by yourself.
yes. It's the first time in a year and a half when I'm by myself in this apartment, by the way.
That's
I
nice though.
I go some places. I go to Russia. I go to like sometimes I go to Boston because
Right.
I just sometimes I miss it. But actually, I've never was left behind here. So Walter's always home, so that's weird. I'm in some quiet time, yes. But he's on his way. I think 2 more hours he'll be home and share all his ahas, big moments,
Mm. We
and that.
actually we even got one client like already signed up and deposit paid, and
Okay, see
so
you pay.
yeah, we definitely have at least one. Yeah, we've got a meeting next week with him to
What's
talk
his
about what's going to actually go in the book. It's a very interesting story. He's got a very interesting story.
What's
Walter
his?
will tell you about it.
I saw an invitation on April 13th to Walter's calendar. Is that the one?
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes. On
accepted.
Wednesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him.
I just it comes to me and Felly and we just accept or not. So because Walter
Yes,
would
I'm
be
glad
like,
you accepted
"Oh,
that
what's
one.
that? What's that?" Like the 30 minutes before the call. I don't know. Gotta say yes to it.
Yeah, so that's our new client.
Good, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, thank you.
Growing and hey, you still have your virtual assistant in Africa? You still have
Yeah, we
Africa?
have she's a transcriptionist. She actually hired somebody. She's learning to code, but she hired someone as an assistant. So yeah, we have the two of them working on the transcriptions.
Excellent. Okay, okay.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that's really
so
cool. That's dedicated just to us. So that's pretty cool.
Yay. All right, well, take some rest. Are you gonna so tomorrow is what, till 12? You have
Till 12. And then there's a luau from like 6 to 8. I don't know if I'll stick around for that because that's like a long time in between.
yeah, because you're gonna check out, right? You're
Yeah, I
gonna
gotta check out tomorrow morning. Yeah. So I'll have my
okay.
stuff with me.
Okay. Well, whatever you have to do, enjoy in the morning. Walter will be home. We'll do 52 weeks 12.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna miss it.
It's okay. You probably would check us on like Facebook Live or something.
Yes.
So, but yeah,
I have a bunch of people, I've told a bunch of people to come to it too, so.
okay, cool. So yeah, rest. It's actually kind of early night for you.
It is, it's like 10 and I'm ready to go to bed.
Go to bed. Enjoy your last day, and we'll definitely catch up on some other follow-ups. But let me know what you need help with. And
Awesome.
it was nice to see you.
Nice to
Here.
see you too.
Hi, Facebook. So me and Jem Sullivan just chatting. That's it.
Yeah,
No,
it
no,
doesn't I still chat.
agenda. Yes, we both
Who wouldn't
employ.
want to hear this, right?
What is it?
Who wouldn't want to hear this?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Darina.
Okay, thanks.
Enjoy your last hour of freedom.
I don't know how do I do this. How do I probably just click the X button?
I'll just hit finish and I think that'll be all right. Good
All right.
night.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.